Welcome to Brooklyn's Finest Entrepreneurs, the podcast for future business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Earl A. Conway, where we discuss the details, trials, tribulations, mindset, and the journey it takes to you being your own boss.
For your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, J, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, J, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, J, blue honey, blue honey.
Yeah, man, another one. What is this? Like episode number 9? You know what I mean? Man, look who we have here. Miss Caroline Evans. Oh, wait a minute. Should I say Caroline Hard Hat Realtor Evans?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And you cannot forget extraordinary.
Extraordinary on top of that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yo, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for coming and being a part of this, man. Like I really appreciate this, man.
Thanks
you don't
for
know,
inviting
man.
me. I really am excited to be here. Like when I got the call, I'm like, me? But I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Man, it's dope. It's dope because it's like I did a podcast last week and I was talking about, the week before then I was talking about how valuable time is. Right, and how important time is, and how like the stage that I'm at, I don't squander my time.
That's true.
And I spoke about how it's important to value other people's time also, if you want your time to be valued.
That is very important.
So I super appreciate you spending time here, coming to the podcast and doing what we do, man. Because you're extraordinary. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
superstar shit.
yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
I'm just trying to feed the world my knowledge. That's all. And I'm glad that you invited me to your podcast.
So you had the perfect place to sow some values into a lot of lives, man. I mean, like I could just look at you and see the glow of giving back, the glow of purpose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think that's dope, man. I think a lot of women and a lot of men, a lot of people in general needs to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to move with purpose. You have to have a purpose in this life, because if you continue to go on in life and feel like there's no purpose, I feel like you're just like a hamster on the wheel. You're just going and going and going.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that, because man, I jumped off that wheel a while ago, man. I'm just winging it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I cannot, because I know what that looked like. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta listen, I'm jumping off every time, right? So here's the thing, Caroline. You don't even know how important you are to this podcast.
Oh.
You're our first female guest on this podcast. Oh my goodness. Yo. You done popped the female. I don't even want to say that. That didn't even sound like I was going to say. That sound kind of, yeah. See,
What?
You popped the female cherry of the podcast.
Hey!
Thank you.
Now, all my women entrepreneurs, do not be ashamed to reach out to Earl Conway.
Yes.
Because he is opening windows of opportunities for entrepreneurs throughout the, I guess I want to say, United States of America. Or
Yeah,
I say
everywhere.
disaster, because this world is pretty much in a disaster at this time.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about that, too. Because, man, your boy is wildin'.
That is not my boy, and I do not claim him as a president, and we will not take.
Why you gotta put the word president in it?
We will not talk politics. We are going to talk education right now and knowledge, and we are going to feed our people the right information, and we are not even going to give him any type of publicity. Not on this podcast, not today.
Nah.
Moving on.
This is all about Caroline. You know what I'm saying? And her extraordinaryism, if that's a word. I be making up words on this podcast. I'm telling you, but you be understanding what I'm saying, though, right?
As long as you can relate.
Right. That's all it is. Right. So, Caroline, where are you originally from? Okay, let's talk heritage first, right?
Okay.
And then get into what city you from and borough. And I shouldn't even have said borough, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know
I'm a
what I mean?
Brooklynite all day.
All right.
I'm a Brooklynite all day. but I come from a Jamaican descent. You know, my mom is American. My dad is Jamaican from Kingston, Jamaica. God bless their souls. They both passed on.
Bomba clap.
Yes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, you know, that's my heritage, and I embrace my Caribbean descent very well.
Absolutely.
I love my American family and my American culture, but for some reason, I just live more towards my Caribbean descent side.
Yeah. So what is it about your Caribbean side that kind of resonate with you?
Having 15 jobs,
Oh,
multitasking, you know, just having that go-getting mentality.
Right.
No form of laziness. You know, Caribbean descent, me watching my aunties and, you know, friends and associates of my dad's, they always was driven, and that would impress me. Like, someone is always driven. And then and my mom never allowed me to visit Kingston as a young child, and as an adult, I took my sons there and I allowed them to experience the culture.
Beautiful.
And when I tell you, when I went to Kingston, Jamaica, and I have realized that everyone in that country works for what they want. It is no type of government assistance anywhere, you know? And that really like opened my eyes to so much of what I have instilled in me, you know? And visiting that country opened my eyes up to so much, you know? And I just feel I love my Caribbean descent. Like, I'm not against the Americans at all, but I tell you, I am so impressed by
it's something to
drive,
be proud of.
you know, their constant motivation. They're not lazy at all.
Okay, so what about the cooking and cleaning? Have you adapted that too? Have you sucked up that too?
Yes,
Oh.
I can cook.
Beautiful.
It took some years, you know. And the funny thing ever, like my first time visiting Jamaica, my dad, like, I used to have all these spices in my refrigerator. I mean, in my cabinet. I used to have seasoned salt, garlic, onion powder, all of this. I went back to visit my dad, and the only thing he was throwing in the pot was not even salt. It was fresh onions and garlic.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need anything else. And I'm like, well, where's the seasoned salt? Where's the parsley? Where's this? He's like, what do you want all that for? You don't need that. You know, you could do a little bit of salt and pepper, but when you cook with onions and garlic, that gives any flavor to any type of meat. I don't care if it's steak, shrimp, chicken.
Wow.
So I just like to eat healthy and eat clean, you know. And going there, it really opened my eyes to eating right. You know, being more in tune with your spirituality, you know, being in tune with who you are as an individual. So I really love it, you know, and they eat clean, they eat fresh. One story I got to tell, when I went to a restaurant and my dad was like, well, what do you want to eat? And I said, well, I'll take the brown stew chicken or whatever. And he was like, that's it? I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, so how long is it going to be? He said, oh, no, we got to go pound the yard and then we'll come back. And I'm like, why we gotta go pound the yard and come back? Why we can't just wait for the food? He's like, just let's go, right? So we go pound the yard and we come back, right? I said, Daddy, I only see 2 chickens in the yard. What happened when we left? It was like 5.
Oh wow.
He was chuckled at me, right? And I said, well, so where's the chickens at? He was like, why you want to worry about where the chicken at? I said, because when we left, it was 5. Now it's only 2.
Now you already thinking,
I'm inquisitive.
Is this going to be the chicken that's brown stewing later?
Yes, it was. But he would not tell me. He would not tell me. He was like, I'm not telling you where that chicken come from. Just eat it and you let me know. And ever since I ate some fresh brown stewed chicken, I cannot go different. It's different. It's so different. But I will tell you, I will not eat no part of a goat. Don't give me no goat. They walk around Jamaica like they're cats, okay? I don't need that. And they eating trash and all. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want no more goat nothing.
So your family heritage, they're Jamaican, you're Jamaican. The other part, is the American side, right?
And South Carolina.
And you, the South joint. So that's a beautiful combination. That's a beautiful combination.
Well, in the 70s, it was a real wicked combination.
How so?
Because in the 70s, you had so many immigrants coming over to the United States. Then you had a lot of Caribbean men, you know, hooking up with American women. And usually, you know, Caribbean descents just want you to stay within. Like an African family, you know, they want you to just stay. Yeah, you know, they don't want you to blend cultures, you know. So my mom was like, my dad and her, they was like head butters, you know. But they got along so well, you know. And it just amazed me of their relationship.
And look what they've created. All this awesomeness. Extraordinary-ism. See that word again?
Exactly. And I love it because, you know, out of all my siblings, you know, God bless my dad, you know, on his deathbed, he was like, you know, I went down to Kingston to care for him, and he was like, you have to go to the city and get my herbs and my juice. And I'm like, well, why me? Right. Like, you want to send me down to the city, like the city of Kingston by myself? He was like, because you're the strongest. Yeah. And I said, that made me feel so good. So that really, because I'm the baby. I'm the baby of all my siblings.
All right, so let's talk about it. So before we get there, so you're a Brooklynite. Yeah. You know, let's make sure that's understood.
Brooklyn all day.
You know,
I love my city. I really do. It made me strong. It molded me into the individual that I am today.
Right.
You know, I really appreciate all my experiences. I appreciate being born in the city of, you know, Brooklyn, New York. I appreciate all my wow experiences that I had to endure.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. How was it growing up in Brooklyn?
Growing up in Brooklyn was survival of the fittest. It was like every man for themselves. It was I mean, you had your certain demographical areas where you couldn't go in because you were from a certain demographical area. Right. But other than that, it was like in the 70s and 80s, early 90s, it was refreshing. Right. It was the most lovely experience I had as a child. Yeah. Growing up, Johnny Pumps and red light, green light.
Listen,
we used
to go upstairs, cut the can, right, like a regular Goya can, cut the bottom and the top, let the Johnny Pump go full blast, put it, you know what I'm saying, and we could control the water. Everything that's coming through, you getting and that was dangerous.
It was very dangerous.
If you got too close, you know what I'm saying? You were skeeted across the street.
What? That would have pushed you into a car, push you into a sidewalk, you know, skid your back, you sliding across the ground. You didn't even realize that you...
And then here's the thing about Brooklyn. Anybody that's passing through that block in a car, they got to pay if they want their joint washed. And if they not paying... That water goes up, and that water is so hard and aggressive that it's seeping through the window, so you're getting wet. Like
regardless.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. So Brooklyn has added some go-getterness. Yes. There's another word. Listen, man, I'm big on words. You know what I'm saying?
You might as well just create your own.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You know, dictionary at this time.
Here's the thing. That's what I try to tell people, right? Words can be okay. Do y'all know that bling bling is in the dictionary?
Which, the Urban Dictionary or the actual dictionary?
You know how words end up in the dictionary? Well, collectively, if we understand what that word is and what it is, then yes, it's a word. You know what I'm saying? Words aren't, that's the word. Bling bling.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Brooklyn has you have inherited a lot of your strength.
Yes.
And your go-getterness from Brooklyn.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. How have your go-getterness, right, enabled you to propel in life in general? Let's talk about just life in general.
Well, reflecting back on my childhood to my adulthood, I've realized that I have always put myself in situations that were challenging.
Uncomfortable.
Yes. So if you can survive, and growing up in Brooklyn, every situation is uncomfortable. Oh, yeah. I don't care if you walk into the corner store, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So by me coming to the realization of living in so much uncomfortness, throughout my years, it gave me that strength to become who I am, because I've come to the realization, if I can survive in Brooklyn, New York, I can survive anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And yes, every city have its hood, but I feel like Brooklyn is that area and that demographic, you know, culture that really teaches you, you know, because every day you walked outside, it was a lesson to be learned. I don't care if, okay, you can't sit on the stoop after a certain time. You can't go into this certain area. You got to get off of Pickens Avenue by this time. You know, everybody got their summer youth checks. Let's not go to Pickens today. Let's go to Pickens Avenue next week, you know? Man, So, you know, every encounter that I had, I was always uncomfortable, but I had that confidence to know that, for one, who I am, I'm not going to allow nobody to do any and everything to me. And I had a mouth almighty. Like, I had a mouth on me. Like, people, they say, oh, that's Caroline, let's run, you know, because once I start going, it's like, and typically my weapon is my mouth. You know, I really don't have to be physical with anyone, you know. And then everyone, just the octane level of my voice, they get like, oh my God, there she goes, let's go. She's at that lane, you know. I'm very squeaky, you know. Some people call me squeaky to this day, but when I start going, it's like, just shut her up, because let's just hear what she got to say to shut her up.
But see, the thing that I try to get people to understand is that things that's happening to us in life is happening for us.
Exactly.
So your Brooklyn experience is, you know, being scared, walking around, just having to survive and move the way you move and figure things out and have these lessons. You know, all of that stuff was happening for you.
Yes.
Right. And it's a beautiful thing when you get to that place and you realize that and you embrace it and you appreciate it.
Yes.
Right. Because I could see that glowness of appreciation, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, because I feel it myself. Like, you know, it's a certain level of confidence and ability that you know that you have in yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When you're able to look at where you grew up at, you know what I'm saying, where you were compared to where you are today. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. And although people, you know, your environment do help to mold you to who you are.
Absolutely.
It's just that you have to be mindful and careful of what you expose your mental to, you know? Because growing up in Brooklyn, I mean, I was exposed to everything, but it's like, what do I want to retain mentally? What is right? What is wrong? You know? And the elevation that I will sit on a stoop at night and see myself, you know, adhere to, you know, grow towards. It's like, it was, I just had visions at such an early age.
So we're gonna jump into those visions, because I believe that visions is so important. I try to sometimes figure out how successful people become successful, right? And I'm not talking about monetary, you know, wise and all. I'm just talking about just saying you're going to do something and do it. That's success. That's how simple it is. Success. Right? That is success. The follow through, right? And I try to figure out what makes the difference between, you know, the doers and the people that's not doing, right? And
have-nots.
Or the have-nots, exactly. Perfect for that. And it seems to be I don't want to say like that's what it is in its entirety, but like just having visions and dreams.
Exactly.
Like you at this age, I still have to have visions and dreams.
You do.
It's super important.
That what aspires you.
Right.
You know, you have to have something. You know, you have that inspiration, but then you need something to aspire you.
Right.
Inside, you know, you have to have
the pull.
That. Yep.
The pull, you know, because without the pull, it's like, you know, like the whole dreaming thing. It's like something that you just don't dream it once. No, it's a couple of times.
It's a couple of times.
It's a couple of times You know
and
what I'm
then you
saying?
start having your premonitions. And then you're like, whoa, deja vu. I feel like I lived here before, you know?
Right.
So it's just
Because
so
your vision.
much. Yeah, it's just your visions, you know? And I must say, like, growing up in Brooklyn, you know, we are trained to have that survival of the fittest mentality.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't trust nobody. You got to make sure you keep your antennas up.
Yeah.
You know, you got to walk with pretty much a type of rage in you.
Yeah.
So people won't approach you and feel like, oh,
unapproachable.
you know. So it's like you just have to have that caliber in you as you know, strive through certain neighborhoods and stuff like that. So I learned that, you know, and even like me, I'm such of a people person. As I started like growing older, becoming a teenager and navigating out on my own and not just sticking within the area that I was raised in, because I went to Sarah J. Hall. My high school was Sarah J. Hall.
So before we get there, let's talk about junior high school. What junior high school did you go to? Because listen, for me, junior high school was everything. High school was kind of like, but junior high school was lit. So I'll be trying to find people that had a lit junior high school experience, especially from Brooklyn and around that area. It's either you went to 137 or you went to 271 or where else we was talking about? Junior high school that was popping.
Well, 55 over in what was that, Bedford-Stuyvesant? Yeah. Okay, so you know where I grew up at. I grew up on Chauncey, Thomas Boylan, and Saratoga. So I was on the cusp of Brownsville and Bed-Stuy. So I had to attend John M. Coleman. 271.
Oh, man.
Rival wars all day, every day.
Listen, junior high school, right? We was taking guns in our book bag to school. Blades, and they had the nerve to put metal detectors, and we was bypassing that through the side door.
Yep.
Like, it was gangs up there. It was it was SSP, which was the Puerto Rican gang. It was GP, which was the guys that lived up there. And then it
Gunther Plaza.
Yo! Am I right?
No, you were not.
You know what I mean?
It was so crazy because I lived down the hill.
And then it was us down the hill.
And then you had up the hill. Right. You know? So it was just real crazy in that era. It was crazy, but I survived. Like, because I'm a people person. So I got along with everybody. You know, I got along.
You knew how to navigate.
Exactly. And then my mom, you know, my mom was not an introvert at all. She was all over the place everywhere. Every area my mom went into, they knew Mary. So it's like, you know, I walked through there like, oh, that's Mary daughter. That's Mary daughter, you know? So, and then I had a sister, her name was Serenise, Reese, they called her in the neighborhood. And she had I want to say reputation where no one will touch her, you know? So that,
it's important to come from a powerful family.
Exactly.
In Brooklyn. You guys got clout.
Yeah. My sister was powerful in Brooklyn. Like, I felt like I could go anywhere and I say, I'm Reese's sister and nobody would touch me, you know? So that helped me out too, especially being a baby of the family. Then my mouth was just ridiculous.
So junior high school was an experience.
It was an experience to mold me to become strong. Because every day we left school, we had to either run home, sneak out the back door, sneak home. Yeah. Even though the rivalry was between the guys, it's like if you wanted to date somebody up the hill, you had to deal with the girls up there. You know, it was just so petty, but, you know, it was childhood. You know, I don't knock it because I lived through it. I was able to survive. But looking back,
there's some valuable lessons that all of that taught us, right? Taught us how to move in a room of vultures.
Exactly.
Pretty much, right?
And most importantly, survive in I would say crab in a barrel mentality. Yeah. Because you have people that will watch you soar and constantly try to bring you down.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but we know how to navigate that.
Yes.
Right? Because we've been here before. You know?
That is true. That is true. But Brooklyn molded me. Brooklyn made me. Brooklyn carved me into the individual that I am today. And I will always give Brooklyn its
Due respect,
rain, all that. Like, I love my city. You know, I really do. You know, it taught me a lot. It really molded me to the person that I am today. And I don't knock it. You know, some things when I go and visit, I'm upset about because I still see my associates or friends still living the same lifestyle that I feel like each and every last person on this planet have the right to excel. Yeah. You don't have to, because you are brought into an environment, that don't mean you have to be complacent into that environment.
You're the perfect example of that, right?
Thank you.
So am I. Like, you know, it's one thing to be raised and have all of this stuff, but, you know, it's up to that individual to look outwards, to look for something that will pull you besides what's being embedded into you day in and day out.
That innate mentality.
You know. So, you know, I do understand how hard and how the struggle is. I came from that struggle, right? Yeah. But at the same token, I've came out of that too, right? I was able to have visions. I was able to have dreams. So let's talk about your visions and your dreams as Caroline, as a little girl sitting on the steps of Brooklyn. What was Caroline's dreaming of?
Well, when I was little, my mom, she was the go-to woman to feed you, clothe you, shelter you, you know. Nice. And my mom always had her doors open to, you know, her girlfriends, her kids. And as a little girl, you know, growing up, although when I was little, I was selfish about it. But as I got older, I realized like my mom was only doing things to help individuals. But I always say, well, why does adult, you know, can't keep a roof over their head? They have kids, you know. And, you know, I remember one time my mom allowed a young lady to come stay with us, and he had 2 kids, and a fight broke out really bad. And my mom wanted to kick the lady out. And I'm like, Mommy, you can't do that. She have kids. What about the kids? And she was like, that's your problem. You're always concerned about everybody, and they not concerned about you. You need to learn to be concerned about things that apply to you. And I'm like, Mommy, but you know, I always had that thoughtful mentality, you know. And my biggest thing was when I was little, my voice or I would cry would get me what I want. Okay. So I cried and cried and cried like a baby for my mom to not throw her friend and her kids out. And I remember going on a stoop and feeling so sad for that young lady. And I really wish I could meet, you know where she is today. Because I really would like to know how her 2 daughters turned out, because that touched me, because I was like, if my mom throw this woman out with her kids, you know, where would they go? You know, they'll be on the street. So I literally would sit on a stoop and look. We lived in Brown, you know, the brownstones, and I will sit on the stoop and look across the street, and I would just mesmerize and visualize like, I want to own that building. I want to be in a position where no one would ever be homeless. At that time, I didn't know it was real estate. I just knew somebody needed a place to stay. So my vision started as early as 10 or 11, you know, to really be that real estate mogul. Back then, I didn't know what it was, you know, but I always knew in my heart, I never, ever want to see anybody homeless. That hurts me. Like, to this day, if I see someone on the street homeless, I'll give them some money. You know, my son's like, why you do that? And I'm like, you never know what the situation is.
You know what's interesting about your story, and what I think that a lot of people can resonate to, is that your dreams are driven by purpose. Right, and it's like those 2 things just kind of coincides with each other. Yeah, like you can't have one without the other. Nope. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care if you're 10 or you're 100. Right? If you have those 2 always in the forefront of your journey and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? Like they always show up in your life. Opportunities show up in your life for you to be able to live out those dreams and that purpose.
Exactly. Because as I dreamed it at 10 or 11, you know, as I started going on in life, you know, I became a teen mom. So at 16, I was a mother. So it's like, where can I focus on a career or education where I, you know, became a mother?
Right.
So I knew I had to get a high school diploma. Like that was number one in that era.
Man,
in 90s, it's like,
okay. Listen, get that and get a job.
Exactly.
Right?
So that was the thing. You know, when I went to high school, I told my mom, I said, I want to go to school for business. And she said, for what? I said, because I want to own my own business. And she's like, well, what business are you going to own? And I always said, I want to be a psychiatrist. Like, I want to sit down. I want to be that person to sit and cross my legs and everybody pour their heart out to me, right? Well, that's not going to make you no money. You got to go to school for 8 years for that. And I'm like, huh? And then that time I was like, I just want to get a diploma. I don't even want to be in school no more, you know. Right. But it kind of like, you know, put my dream on hold because I became a teen mom. Right. But when I started working and I had my second son, so by the age of like 20, I started working in Manhattan at a collection agency. And within like 8 months, I got promoted from a collector from the collection department to the actual attorney's department. Because the main level was collections, and then you had the attorney where you're, I guess, collecting more, you're feeling more empowered if you're in the attorney side, right? So you could say, I work for the law office of so-and-so, you know? So I kind of, when that happened for me, my manager believed so much in me, and I'm like, I don't know how to be a supervisor. He like, what, you know, I'm going to train you, you know? And he was an Italian man, and he took me under his wing, and he showed me what leadership was like. And I didn't know I had it in me, but he was like, you are a leader. And I'm like, I couldn't see it because growing up in Brooklyn, they don't teach us you could be a leader. You know, they teaching us, you go to school,
be a follower,
get pretty much. You get your high school diploma, you get a job, you know. What is a career? I didn't know what a career was until I turned like 23 years old. I didn't know what a career was. So
having that opportunity started to open your eyes up to possibilities that you already knew innately existed.
I already put the vision out there. I already had the dream at 10, 11 to want to be in real estate. So when I became a collector and a supervisor with collections, I started working with loan officers. And I was the one they would contact to get a settlement or payoff because they couldn't close a loan unless they had to pay this debt off. So I was that go-to person, and I was such a great negotiator. And you know, and they would try to sell me, and I was, you know, tell them no, it's not going down like that. We need this percentage in order for it to work. So I never been on the negotiating tactics with them. And this one loan officer was like, have you ever thought about selling loans? And I'm like, loans? What is, mortgage loans? What is that? People, you help people to refinance their house, to keep their homes and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. But what does it entail? And then he told me about the money I can make and stuff like that. And I was excited about the money because once he told me about the position, I didn't even meet this man. I never sat across from him. Everything was over the phone. And February of 1999, he said, won't you come and be a loan officer in Maryland? I said, huh? Maryland? I don't know. I don't have any family in Maryland.
So at this point now, are you still connected to your dreams? Are you still thinking purpose, or you're just thinking job? And once you took that position, before you went to Maryland, once you took that position, how did you feel? Did you feel like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
No, it was just money. Because at that time, we was taught to graduate and get a job. So working in collections, I would gross about $6,000-$7,000 on my salary on top of commission. So each time you close out or you hit your goal, you was on a certain level of commission payout. So I did it for money. I had no clue that me going into that collection environment will open back up my dream and visions that I had to be into real estate.
The money.
I did it for the money. Working in collections, I did it for the money because it was easy, it was quick, and as long as I was able, I had to give for the gap. So I was able to meet my goal every month, to make that quota to get that extra money. And it was really lucrative at that time. You know, in the 90s, that was lucrative.
Listen, I would have been lit making that type of bread. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'd have been buying everybody ice cream cones on the block. You know what I'm saying?
I pretty much got everybody on a job a block. I mean,
right?
Everybody on the block got a job.
Nice.
That's how,
nice.
You know, I
Listen.
opened up that door. You know, I'm like, hey, you want a job? They're hiring. You want a job? They're hiring. See, I'm that type of person, Earl, where I feel like I was raised that knowledge and education should always be free.
Right.
You know, if you have something that you can teach someone, you should never hold back on it. Because you never know what that piece of knowledge that you're sharing can take that person to that next level. Or, like they say, the Holy Spirit spoke to me. You never know what message you're sending. So, like, right now, as a realtor, people say, well, why you don't charge people to consult them? Why you don't charge a retainer's fee? Because I feel like my knowledge, I should never have to charge anyone if they are motivated to learn.
Right.
Because that's how I received all my knowledge, all my education. I was motivated to learn.
Right.
You couldn't just tell me the sky's purple. Why is the sky's purple? Who made the sky purple? Yeah. You know, you have to ask
Is purple even a color? Because only because we collectively call that purple.
Exactly.
And that's the only reason, but you just can't tell me. I hear what you're saying.
Like,
so
who wrote the Bible? But we ain't even gonna go there right now.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day,
who elected Trump? We could be here.
We could be here all day with who did what. But at the end of the day, if you as an individual is interested in learning, you should always position yourself around individuals where you know that's going to teach you.
Right.
Okay, everybody capitalize off of everything in this world. And I strongly feel that, you know, it's okay. I don't care, capitalize off of it. But at the end of the day, there's always a higher being. Right. You know? Yeah. And if you are doing something out of the kindness of your heart, it's only going to be returned to you tenfold.
Oh yeah.
It's
you reap what you sow.
Exactly. You know? And a lot of people miss that. You know, they miss.
Listen. We gonna get in deep to that because I already see where you want to go with this. Caroline, listen. Caroline is on her game right now. She's in a different space right now, and trust when I tell you, like her energy is like purposeful. Like if you ever came around someone that was driven by their purpose and understand everything about their past, their present, and dictating their future based on that, you know, like it's a different type of energy, man. I want y'all to really, really like it's different. So your 20 years, you did about 20 years in financing, right?
23
years. Wow.
Get it right.
Woo! 23 years of working for the man, right?
Working for the man. But I took the path to know what I wanted to get into. Yes. You know, like you expressed, it was a purpose. You know, I know the type of person I am, being an analytical person I am. I could not just take on a job and not fully understanding what my reasoning and purpose was behind it. Right. You know, so my goals is always driven by something that's going to help me to excel to the next level.
Absolutely. And it should be always. So how important is coaching to you?
Coaching? Oh, coaching.
Have you ever like let's talk about mentorship. Let's talk about coaching and what that means to you, and who was that person or persons that came into your life that added some coaching to you to get you to the next level or to get you to realize certain things and see things differently
in life.
Right. And professionally.
Right. I can, for one, like far as personal and internal wise, I will always recognize my godfather, Darrell Jackson.
Shout out to Darrell Jackson.
Yes, Park Slopes. He's a Park Slope resident. Nice. What you want to call it? That that entrepreneur. You know, he was
that's what's up.
he was the first Black man that I met that worked at a post office and also had his own business.
Nice.
Doing postal services for the post office.
Oh.
So growing up, I never knew anyone Black can own businesses. Right. Because growing up in our area, what we had, bodegas. Yeah. Everywhere you go is a bodega, you know, bodegas, you know. So watching my godfather, you know, although he dated my mom, but our relationship went further than him and my mom's relationship. And he saw something in me very young at age, you know.
Yeah, he saw himself in you.
He saw something in me, and it was so crazy because when he came into my life, I was 13. Right. And it was something I always loved Cabbage Patch dolls. And I was 13 and I was like, I want a Cabbage Patch doll. And it was expensive back then. Right. And he said, well, why do you want this why do you want this doll, baby? And I said, why wouldn't I be? I just want to be a kid. Right. I don't want to grow up. I just want to be a kid. And he could not, he was like, that stole his heart where I just wanted to be a kid. Like I didn't want to grow up. I just wanted to stay in my imaginative world.
There was no rush.
It was no rush for me, you know, because I was already exposed.
I'm going to get there. I know extraordinary is waiting for me on the horizon. Yeah.
I was just exposed to so much so soon, so early, you know, and I just didn't want to get rid of my, you know, that would make me comfortable, you know. And he was a great mentor. And then fast forward.
So hold on. So what were you seeing? Like, I know you said he was an entrepreneur. Like what little details did you pick up that you think kind of just like resonated with you and kind of not even at that moment, but subconsciously has been buried and sold into you without you even knowing?
Compassion.
Woo.
Nice one. I was not aware of compassion. I had no clue what that meaning was, you know. Right. And to meet someone who took on a young lady with 4 kids, you know, that was compassion, you know. And he would come around and he will engage with us, you know, he would talk to us. My other siblings would brush him off, but I was that intuitive type of individual. So I always wanted to be in the know, like I have to know like what's going on, you know.
Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, you know, and people are like, oh, you're nosy. I said, no, I am inquisitive. Okay, I am not nosy. I am inquisitive. Okay, because inquisitive leads to knowledge and learning and understanding. Okay, nosiness just leads to negativity and gossip, and we're not doing it.
And I'm gonna use that voice that you just used.
Okay. But it's like, you know, I was positioned with a lot of great role models, you know, and then watching my auntie on Union Place and Nostrand Avenue, she had her own restaurant. Nice. You know, and that made me feel like women can do anything. You know, women didn't have to be the women who just come home and go to work and care for kids. You can actually be what you want to be, you know. And although my dad was not hands-on in our life, he was there financially for the support or whatever, I still respected him so highly because he was involved in our lives, you know. Like he would say, you need to, like my mom would say, 65 is past it, I don't care. But if I was to give that report card to my dad, he would rip me apart. Like, what are you doing? You're better than this, you know?
You're setting a higher bar.
Exactly. He set a rather higher bar, you know?
So, it's crazy to just think about, like, how important mentorship is. Like,
it's very important.
I don't know. It's kind of scary in a sense because I don't know where I would be without someone.
Exactly.
Someone stepping in and showing me or taking the time out or to just be in their own zone, but me just happen to be around them to soak up some of this stuff. Like what would I be doing? So it's very important. So
it's important.
So your second mentor, or should I say second, or just... What other mentors have you had along the way that stands out to you?
I have always positioned myself around individuals who were older than me. Right. Because I had that I had that intuitive as if I position myself around someone who's older than me, they have already lived the age that I'm going through.
Yeah.
So the knowledge that they can share with me, or if I see them living, say I meet somebody, I was 24 and they was 43, and I see that they're not living right. I knew by the age of 43, I didn't want to live like this person that I was around.
You found out what they did, how they did it, and you be like, okay, you know
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'll take this from you.
Exactly.
And this from you.
Exactly.
And incorporate that with my journey.
So in the state of New York, I mean, Darrell Jackson, my godfather, he was my I would say life coach, because you know, I got pregnant at a very early age, and he made sure that although I was a teen mother, don't box yourself out. Don't ever look at yourself as a statistic.
Right.
And he gave me books to read.
Right.
You know, and he instilled so much knowledge in me. And he kept telling me, you are a queen. You are beautiful. You don't let no one, you know, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that young age, you know, and then growing up without a dad in the household, but, you know, you have your mom. Sometimes women, we look for that, you know.
Right,
so we get hard up on a knucklehead in the neighborhood, you know. And that knucklehead sometimes, you know, break us or make us stronger, you know. Yeah. And I would say the knucklehead I got involved with made me stronger, you know.
Yeah, everything that's happening in life to us is happening for us.
It's for us, for a reason.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
agree
just
with
the
that.
way it goes. Anything you could look back in your past, even you know, that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know, because you get to a point where it all makes sense, exactly, and you appreciate it.
Yep.
You know,
and that's the main thing, having the appreciation. Because if you don't appreciate it, you're never going to retain and be able to accept it.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, I want to get off the topic of mentorship, but like this is some jewels that's being dropped here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you move forward, and no matter what, you still have to look back. Yep. And soak up everything, all the lessons, all the stuff that you thought was gonna break you down or was bad, or I shouldn't have did that, or nah. Yo, it all makes sense at the end of the day. You know, but you gotta be at that place where you want it to make sense.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's a choice at the end of the day.
You have to be receptive. You have to be receptive, because if you're not receptive, is you're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah. And you're wasting the time of others, you know? Because when I left Brooklyn, I was in a bad place, you know, and I moved to Maryland, and I just felt like I wanted different. I wanted more, you know? I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was still that angry girl from Brooklyn living in Maryland, literally, you know? And people were like, why are you so angry? You look so mad all the time. And I never realized that I was walking around with that type of persona, that perception, you know? And I would never, this guy that I met, and we met on a paintball, like going paintball. Right. And we started talking, and we started, you know, we became friends. And I always give him his accolades also. And his name is James Fields.
Shout out to James.
Out to James Fields.
Yes, sir.
That is
sold into this girl's life.
She needed it. Yes.
You saved her.
Yes, he did.
That's what's up.
He really did. I thank James tremendously, because James Fields taught me about the secret. Nice. The secret. You know, I don't know if anybody knows about the secret.
Listen, man. I used to think that I'm weird because
why?
Because you know, I'm the only one watching The Secret. I'm the only one watching, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and then I'm excited about it, and I tell people about it, and I don't get the same reaction. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this is the third eye. Don't look at me with the third eye.
That is the third eye.
That is the third eye.
Yeah.
So yes. Wait. So mentorship. So James.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right, he's sold into you tremendously by exposing you to the secret.
The secret.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was the most powerful thing ever, because he took me, exposing me to that type of literature. It took me from being that angry Brooklynite to that classy, bougie Brooklynite.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I would talk to people over the phone, and they're like, "Oh my God, is she white? Is she black?" You know, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't understand." Like, you know, and then when I see them in person, they're like, "Oh, Miss Evans, that's you." You know, they thrown back. You know, so you know that helped me like discovering the secret.
So what was it about watching that? What is it? A documentary?
It's a documentary. It's a documentary.
So what was it about watching it? Like what you think connected? I want to use the word resonate, because like you've already had this type of stuff bubbling in you
Inside me,
from 10 years old, sitting on that step, dreaming, right, envisioning, right. So like, what part of that documentary, like the vision and the dreams?
It was mind blowing.
Yeah,
because it basically captivated on what you put out there comes back.
Right.
And I've realized, like, I left
The law of attraction.
Yes, the law of attraction. What you put out there eventually comes back, you know? So that's when I have learned to curve the way that I speak.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Because
that's powerful.
It's so powerful because your words are powerful. And individuals don't understand that words are so powerful. And people do not understand what you say eventually will come back to you.
Listen,
It's
now
not-
y'all know that I am not a hoax.
No.
Because when I talk about words and I give definitions and I make sure that like we understand how we're using these words, right? And the definitions of them, the power that we given to them, y'all be looking at me like I'm probably kind of like, you know, this nigga hoaxing, right? But look, you have someone else, right? It's not coming from me. Right? Words are important. Words are very, very important because we use them so nonchalantly and we don't really know the definitions of them. We use them out of context all the time. We don't know how powerful they are.
Yep.
We don't even know how powerful our tongue is that the words are coming off of.
Exactly. And let alone, not even the words that you use, it's the tone of the way you're using the words.
That adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, the tone.
You know.
The tone sets everything, you know, but the universe watching The Secret, it opened me up to what the universe is, you know, and what you put out, you get back. So if you're consciously thinking good, only good is going to come back.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I be trying to drive this one home, and I have not found someone to have this conversation with.
Okay.
But since you're extraordinaire.
Okay,
you know
extraordinary.
You know, let's talk about it. So, what do you think about karma? What really is karma?
Karma, what as I foresee is karma, it's the same thing as the universe. What you put out, you're getting back.
Okay.
So karma could come in any shape, form, or fashion.
Nice.
Karma does not necessarily have to come back and bite you. Karma is that most secretive, deadliest attraction that can hit you in any level in your life. It don't even have to attack you. It can attack your kids. Right. Okay? So I strongly believe in treating people how I want to be treated.
So that's how it works.
Yes.
Pretty much, right? It's not that karma is like this bad thing that you got to be ducking from and running from.
No.
You can actually use karma to your benefit.
You can use it to your benefit.
Right? If you sow good and you sow in peace and you're sowing love and you're sowing value into people's lives, then karma can work for you. Isn't that?
It's good karma.
I think I'll be the only one tripping on that.
No, there's good karma and there's bad karma, people, okay? The good will always come back to you tenfold. Right. The bad, you don't know when it's going to hit you. It can hit your kid. It can hit your sibling. It can hit your grandparents. You don't know, you know. But that's why what I instilled in my kids, you treat people how you want to be treated. Because if you're treating someone how you want to be treated, eventually that is only going to come circle right back around and flourishing, and you're going to receive the same energy that you put out.
You preaching good, Pastor. Listen,
I don't want to be no pastor.
I don't want mentorship. I don't want to.
Yes, I could be a life coach, but don't put me. I believe in spirituality, but do not put me in the caliber of pastors. Because living here in Atlanta has really left a sour taste in my mouth about pastors. We're not going to do that, Earl.
I love reactions. Right, this is what makes this good, right? So, coaching. Shout out to James, right? Professionally, you had a mentor step into your life to give you the same energy, give you the same attention, so into you. What's his name?
Oliver Adams.
Shout out to Oliver Adams.
Adams.
Yes,
I met
sir.
Oliver Adams, I want to say 4 years ago when I started my transition into being a realtor. And he is a coach for Better Homes and Garden Real Estate Metro Brokers.
Yes.
And and it was so crazy because going through Metro Brokers, there's a actual program that you have to complete in order to even see a coach, a realtor coach, a mentor coach, right? Yeah. And the funniest thing ever, when I visit the office that I go to, which is in Stonecrest in Georgia, Lithonia, and he was in there. And I said, I stopped him and I asked him a question, and he was like, well, I'm a coach. And I'm like, you a coach for what? And he was explaining to me, what was his role in coaching. And I said, well, what do I have to do? I said, what do I have to do? Do I have to, how can I get a chance to sit, beside you? I need to know what levels.
Can you take me up under your wing, please?
Because I'm the type of person, and I don't know if it's just the Brooklyn in me, but presentation means everything. Right. Like, you can't just walk outside looking like anything. Like, not with a bonnet on your head or none of that, And this man, he just had this poise with him. He was just had this strength, and he was so confident. Later I learned he was military, but he just had this strength in him, And I'm talking to him, and he said, "Come and talk to me." And when I sat down and talked to him, he was blown away. He was like, "You haven't finished Accelerate?" I said, "No, I have not finished Accelerate. It's a course that Better Homes and Garden make you go through, which is a great course, but I could not see a mentor until I finished that course. He instantaneously took me under his wing, and he seen the value that I had in me.
I love that.
In the nuggets and the knowledge, and the ideas, that he give to me, because when I came here to Georgia, I relocated once again. I didn't know nobody. I mean, I knew my family, but as far as getting into the real estate business, real estate is oversaturated. Like, this is an oversaturated market, and you have to find your niche. Like, regardless, if you love real estate, believe me, there's a niche out there for you. You just have to find it, And the things that he have instilled in me, shared with me, he has challenged me. He's given me,
Listen, you say he was a no-nonsense, and that's where the military background comes from.
And then he's seen the strength that I had within myself,
cause you like,
that I was kind of like hesitant to show because I'm new to Georgia, And he was like, you got this, Take it by the he has so much confidence in me. Well, I feel like every month that I meet this man, I feel like I am conquering the world. Like,
that's
the 15 minutes, 20 minutes I'm sitting here with him, he makes me feel like I am unstoppable. And I don't even care if I just close one transaction a month. I just feel like I'm unstoppable because of what I know is to come.
So, having experience coaching, mentorship, that's been able to come into your life and sow into you and build you up, right? To teach you things and show you the way. Like, there's a lot of people out there that I try to like convey to them, like, yo, like, you always have to have someone, right? Like, even the people that you think that's successful, they're getting coaches. Yeah. They have mentorship, right? They have a trainer. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a direction for everything. Like,
yeah,
there's a direction for everything, and you just have to be open-minded to that direction. Right. You know, you can't be closed-minded to what comes your way. You know, like, even when me moving to Maryland, I didn't know anyone, but I met this fabulous, amazing woman, Stacy Blackwell. And Stacy Blackwell. She took me under her wing, and she's I think 8 years older than me, I believe. And I tell you, she really like helped me to womanhood, you know. And my godmother, you know, I call her my spiritual mentor. That lady, I love her to death. You know, if I hit the lottery today or tomorrow, I'm bringing her here to Maryland. Landoria Owens. Crazy. Yeah, you gotta have that spiritual connection, you know.
It's so crazy to hear your story. Yeah. Right?
I have some really great people in my life.
What it showcase is the fact of how well rounded and grounded you are.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And I want people to like really, really soak into that, right? Like really not only level up to that, but like really, really like put yourself into understanding the different parts of Caroline. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to see it. You get to see the professionalism. You get to see the bouginess. You know what I'm saying? That she don't even want. Like, no, I'm not bougie. What you talking about? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I just carry myself.
You get to
with
see
class.
The charismatic part of it, right? The intelligent part of her, right? You know, sassy. You know. Beauty queen too,
I have a fiery side too.
Yeah, you can see the Brooklyn in her, right? And yo, it's I think it's dope. I think it's important that women, you know, are able to see other women, and you know, as powerful and in powerful positions. You know what I'm saying? In powerful spaces of their lives.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you don't even understand. You're the first female on this podcast.
I feel very privileged.
Man, I'm going to get, like, a whole... Like, because most of my audience are... It's a mixture. Okay. But this one is going to put me straight through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So, success, right? I want to touch on a couple of things about success. Okay. What it actually takes to be successful. What is success?
Success is never measured. Right. Success should never be measured.
Yes.
Success is about the action and energy that you put into it.
Absolutely. So if you say you're going to do something,
you got to do it.
If you do it, you're successful.
Just do it. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's it. Listen, I'm going to move this mouse right here. I move the mouse right here. I'm successful.
All day.
And that's the energy that you keep building by keep moving things in your life, all aspects of your life, reaching little goals, making bigger goals.
Yes.
Obtaining them.
Obtaining. That's the most important thing. You have to obtain the goal.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and write down goals all day, every day, but obtain them. I mean, you can literally start, like, people think of goals and they get scared because they like, oh my God, I have to do something extra, big. Big, you know, and it's not that. I mean, your goal, you can do the most minute goal ever. Like, I'm not going to speed today. That's my goal. Right. I am not going to speed at all. I'm going to stay within the speed limits of every highway that I go on. I am not going to speed. Ding, ding, ding. That's a goal you accomplished.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I think is super important when it pertains to that is that, like, the momentum that you build, right? Set small goals.
Set small, attainable.
Because what you don't, I mean, achieving the goal is the end game, right? But you need fuel. Yes. So in order to build fuel, right, you create little goals, short-term goals, and you just keep using that to build the fuel. Yep. And once you have enough fuel, you're able to like set bigger goals, bigger achievements, you know what I'm saying? Acquire bigger things. And like, you don't want to lose momentum. Never. Because it's hard to get that back. So in the spirit of momentum, and I strongly believe that momentum can only be built with discipline.
That's true.
Caroline, what are some of the disciplines that you have, that you do? Is there a morning routine? Is there like an afternoon routine? Like, do you need to go to the gym? Do you need to take a walk? Do you do, like, what is it?
Meditation have saved me.
Nice.
Meditation. And a lot of people feel like, meditation, what's that? You know,
right.
In our culture, we don't understand meditation, you know, and we're not taught meditation. And you have to quiet your mind in order to meditate, you know? And I really feel that there's a higher being. So if you quiet your mind, then you're able to open up what the universe has for you or trying to say to you.
Absolutely.
It's simple, you know. Life is as only simple as you make it.
Right.
You have to be careful of who you expose yourself to, allow to expose you. You have to be careful of what you learn, what you're willing to learn. Yeah. And you have to be careful with, you know, the people that you have in your space, because everyone that's in your space is not for you. Yeah. And I'm big on words, because if you say something bad about me in that moment, you're feeling so confident and mighty about speaking bad about me. And what if I'm in the room feeling bad for myself? The universe is going to pick up on that energy. Yeah. So eventually, a week, a day, 2 days, or I might be soaking in that bad energy for days, because not only am I feeling it, but somebody's out there putting it on me. Right. So I am very...
You don't need double energy.
I don't. I love my energy. Like, people cannot even take my energy. Like, people really cannot take my energy, and I don't understand why, because I really strongly feel I give off good energy.
Well, here's the thing. So meditation is like, meditation is used so vaguely, like the word. Like, listen, I want people to understand. Like, everything is a process. You have to go through the process. I don't care what it is that you're trying to do, right? And the best thing that I advise people to do, because I do it every day, day in and day out, is that I make sure that I tell myself, yo, enjoy this process. It's all about the process. It's all about the process. Like, live the process. Do the process. Laugh in the process. Have fun in the process. Because the process is where, like, everything is, right? So it's like, you know, meditation is a process. If you're going to start meditation, and the thing that you want to do is you want to quiet the mind, right? And it's hard to do. Because I'm a beginner meditator. I'm going to tell y'all how this shit really works, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to sit up here and talk like I'm super meditator. I'm going to tell you the struggles of it, right? So it's like, what we want to do, and what I've noticed that I have to work on is attention, right? So it's like, all day we have all these thoughts coming into our minds. You know what I'm saying? And they're just coming in, they're going out. It's like, it's so much, right? So to be able to go in a place where the thoughts will never stop, but you're not following them. Exactly. You're able to center yourself in a place, whether you're focusing on a dot on the wall or a red apple in your mind or whatever it is that you choose to focus on. When you feel that your mind is taking you into all of these different thoughts, then you pull yourself back to that focal point. It's a process, and it's hard. It takes repetition.
Yeah, it does.
And you're going to fail, and you're going to have to try again.
Yes.
And keep trying.
It's not easy.
Is that the experience?
Yes. You hit it on the head. You know, when I started meditation about 7-8 years ago. And I tell you, the first 2 years, I didn't know what I was doing. Right. I just knew that I need to lay in bed and be quiet and just feel, you know. And then I came to, you know, learning more about The Secret, learning more about the universe, you know. And how I've learned to master my meditation is that I fixate on the one thing that makes me happy.
Oh, that's a good one. I got to use that one.
And ocean sounds make me happy.
Yeah.
So I literally have a sound machine in my room where I literally will go to bed with that sound machine on.
Nice.
So I just hear the sounds of the ocean, and that relaxes me. So you have to find, if you're meditating, you have to find that focal point that makes you happy and what relaxes you.
Right.
You know, so you just can't, or you can just start off chanting happy thoughts. You know, you breathing in happy thoughts, you exhaling bad energy.
Right.
You know, you have to, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
Because it's a mind control thing. At the end of the day, you're controlling your mind.
Yeah, you're controlling your focus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because that's what this boils down to. That's what the exercise of meditation is for, is that you're able to control your focus. So in real life, right, when the world is pulling you left, right, and center, through meditation, learning how to focus and not be distracted, through meditation, you're able to apply that in real life.
Yep.
So that's the beauty of meditation.
Yeah, it's the beauty of meditation. And you also have to understand things that's a part of your life is also a distraction. So you have to eliminate the distractions of your life.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's no possible way for you to meditate on something when you know there's a distraction. For example, you know, I'm single, yes. I mean, I would love to be in a relationship, but I ain't looking for it. You know, if it comes, it comes. But literally, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to meditate, but you have a spouse in your space or significant other in your space and they're giving off bad energy, you're not balanced. You're still unwavering, you know? Yeah. So it's all, like I tell people, I'm not going to allow you to be in my space if you're going to disrupt what I have going on. Ooh. I'm just not that individual. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I am the type of person where if I'm going to share myself with you, I'm not looking for you to bring me gold and pearls and rubies, but respect my energy. The energy I give off, I want you to bring back to me. You know, as I do unto you, you do unto me. You know, it's not fair to be in a world where you feel like everything is one-sided and things supposed to revolve around you. Right. You would never get anywhere in life with that mentality.
Yeah. Listen, man, I thought I was just tripping. Listen, last episode, I got personal with it. I'm like, listen, it was about time. And I'm like, listen. Okay, I can't even date. That's what I said on the last one. I can't date because like, okay, we could chill and do whatever we do, but like, yo, I got to get up in the morning. I got a routine. And if you don't respect, like, listen, what you got going on might not be important to you, but like, I got to
a routine. Exactly.
In the morning.
Exactly.
I got to stick to so just respect that.
Thank you.
And like, they're not out here respecting that.
No.
They just, so I totally get it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then me personally, like, you talking about time and respecting time, like, I have a regimen. Like, I walk 15 miles a week, like, not every day. Right. You know, I meditate, I listen to ocean sounds to relax me. You know, I don't want you to come and disrupt my peace. Don't disrupt my peace. Don't disrupt my peace. Because if you disrupt my peace, then you're going to get the full
if you're like me,
side.
It took you a while to get there. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going back. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Y'all got to come with me.
People don't want to respect time. And they don't want to respect your time. And I feel like some individuals, like everybody get in a relationship for their own selfish intentions. Right. That's the norm, you know? But I just feel like there should always be a level of respect for that person's livelihood and compassion for that person's well-being. Yeah. Because if you know I get up every day and jog, and this is helping me keep myself calm, don't call me at 8 o'clock talking about you want to go to breakfast. No, because you know I jog every day at 8. Don't do that.
Listen, Caroline is dropping some jewels on us about if y'all getting all the information y'all need to approach. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is fix your life, you know what I'm saying, in accordance with her. You know what I'm saying? And do not be disruptive.
disruptive.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Got me fumbling on my words. I'm trying to help y'all dudes out. You know what I'm saying? Looking bad up here for y'all. So Caroline, let's talk about branding, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing a phenomenal job of branding.
Oh, thank you.
Man,
my mentor Oliver Adams gave me that name, Hard Hat Agent.
Man, like just the name alone, right? It goes with your movement.
Thank you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you.
It's just not like Realtor. It's just not Caroline. Listen, right. I say Caroline Hard Hat
Agent.
Realtor.
Okay, that's even better.
Right?
That's even
Evans.
Better. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to take the agent out of that. You passed that.
Better. Yeah, you
understand what I'm saying?
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I feel like have excelled. Okay.
Yes. You've always been excelling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but can I tell you how I came about with that name?
Yes, please do.
Yes, because people look at it and like, Hard Hat Agent. Why is your name? Why did you brand yourself as a hard hat agent? Right. Honestly and truthfully, I had no idea, what to brand myself as when I became a realtor here, because the market, of course, is saturated. Right. Sitting down, telling my mentor coach, my real estate mentor coach, exactly my experience and my work ethics and everything that I have conquered throughout the years that lead me up to wanting to be a real estate agent. He said, why don't you just be a hard hat agent? Right. You know every sector of real estate finance. No one can touch you. You're that unique agent because you have so much knowledge to not only help people to understand how to purchase a home, but you can teach them what to avoid.
Yeah, all the trouble they're going to run into.
Exactly. And having that knowledge and understanding from being a loan officer, from a loan officer to a title producer to a settlement agent, loan processor, pre-underwriter. Talk about it.
Resume is extensive.
And now, I superseded to become a realtor because I wanted to understand every facet in the business, to not only be out here to say I'm a realtor to be a millionaire or to make a lot of money, but it was my purpose to educate and teach individuals not only how to purchase a home, but to retain a home and hopefully turn that home into a legacy for their family.
Right.
In our community, we're not taught legacy. We're not. And some people don't even know, once you purchase a home, you can eventually put that home into a trust. That trust is then protected. No mortgage lender could come and foreclose against that home.
Man.
But we as individuals, especially within our culture, we're not educated on wills, revocable trust, even life insurance, not even, the life insurance. There are so many individuals, especially in the Jewish community, they will go out and take a $3 million life insurance policy out. And by the 5th year, they have accumulated a cash value, and they take that cash and go buy.
Re-up.
And go buy. And then it's Forum that's doing it. And they coming together collectively. And they purchasing these buildings and, companies, and they're using life insurance. They're not even going to a bank.
Wow.
And we're not taught that. That's how they do it. And yes, exactly. Hey, I don't know if y'all don't have life insurance, y'all really need to talk about life insurance with your significant others and your kids, and you take advantage of that as well. Instead of, being out here scamming, try to take advantage of your livelihood, what to offer. Well, your life is meaningful.
The beautiful thing about having you on, Caroline, is that you're exposing our listeners to a lot of mind-stimulating thoughts.
Oh, that's
right?
good.
You know what I mean? Good. And I think it's important, man, because, we could do it, man. We are doing it.
We are.
Right?
We are. We just have to find that right direction, and we have to find the right caliber of individuals that see the same dream as you see. You know? That's all it takes.
So what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've went through just trying to be where you are today, mentally, spiritually?
I have experienced leaving New York in '99. I moved to Maryland, which is a first slavery state. So I went through a lot of discrimination. At that time, I knew I was being discriminated upon. Every job that I worked in Maryland, I was always the only African American in the office. So as I, prevailed and, I always excelled higher than my peers in the office, and I always was looked at as a threat. So in this lovely world of real estate that we live in, there's always an up and there's always a down, and then there's always a cruising point, So with all the knowledge, the experience, my great work ethic, I was always looked over or not even paid attention to, and I always felt like I had that leadership quality in me, Right. And every job that I have had in the real estate finance, I have excelled, expeditionally. Like I just took it by the bullhorns and just rolled with it. And my trials, I say, is me working for entities that did not believe in me, but they knew my quality of work. And that was
that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one,
That's hard to swallow.
Yeah, it is, So I knew, I could not continue to allow someone to put me in a box. So I've come to the realization that not only did I have the experience as working in the real estate finance world, I went back to school. I gained 6 years. I gained my bachelor's and I gained my master's degree.
Nice.
And I did my bachelor's in business
smart.
management
You really
and accounting
smart. Smart.
I try to embrace that. I really do.
Yes.
I really do. So I went to got my bachelor's degree in business management and a concentration of accounting, and then I went back for my master's and I did it at master's in management because I've realized with the trials and tribulations that I have experienced being, in the real estate finance world, and me knowing my end game was to be a successful realtor, I knew I had to have some education on management. I knew how to navigate. I know how to, prioritize, organize.
But just in case they want to.
Yeah, So blah. I really,
right on the table.
Not even that. I just did it for myself because I always was singled out of becoming a leader in the jobs that I work for. Like, honestly and truthfully, I worked for a credit union for 7 years. Went back to school for my bachelor's degree. Had a good relationship with a woman in HR. And she said, Caroline, I want to share something with you. What you're doing is very good. You're going back to school, you're getting your degree because the company is changing. So with the company changing, by you having your degree, you are positioning yourself for a leadership position in the title company that you're working in. Okay. So now that they change executives and all that, they're looking for someone with education and experience, not just experience.
And you had already had the experience.
You already had the experience,
Okay.
So fast forward, I was 6 months into completing my bachelor's degree to get my bachelor's in management, where I knew I would be able to apply for this position. Guess what?
Don't tell me they okey-doked you.
I had a manager. I already shared with you, I was always the African-American one in the group, right? He literally excluded my position. He excluded
the whole position?
The whole entire position. He excluded out. And because I was already with the credit union for 5+ years, they could not get rid of me. So what did they do? They took the African-American one and they put her into a department where she was already capped out of the salary given.
Wow.
So they basically wanted to put me in a box.
Yeah.
Because they knew my education, my leadership skills, my work ethic. He was aware of that, you know. So it's instead of working with someone who can help your company grow, you wanted to work with someone that you can pretty much control and just feel like, you know, we're going to do this the best way we can. Instead of looking at the whole entire picture, not only about the company, but for the consumers that we assist, you know?
So you were not valued there.
I wasn't valued.
Discriminated against.
I was totally discriminated against, you know?
To the highest level.
For the highest level.
Disrespected.
Totally.
How are they going to remove the position? That's a different type of disrespect. And discrimination.
And there's more. Okay? Because once the credit union excluded my position as a title processor, I went to work in the credit card department. Mind you, I was already over my grade level. So I couldn't even get a raise or anything, you know. So once they took away my position, 6 months later, he hired another lady.
Wow.
Another one.
The position just happened to reappear.
It just happened to reappear.
Man. Listen, this is that's the greatest magic trick I've ever seen.
So there's more. So once that happened to me, that ignited the fire in me to say, okay, Caroline, what's your next step? What you really want to do? And I always wanted to be a realtor. My main goal, once I have gotten to real estate financing in 99 and by 2005, I knew I wanted to be a real estate agent. You know, I did take the test in the state of Maryland. I passed and was a real estate agent. But by 2007, the market tanked. So it's like I'm a single mom. So it's like either I get out here and try to work with what's going on or I go back into the work field, you know. So I went back in the work field, you know, and that's when I landed the job with the credit union. And don't you know, as a realtor, I was a real estate agent licensed. And when he hired me and found out that I was a real estate agent, he was like, oh, you can't be a real estate agent and a title producer at the same time. I said, why not? It's not a conflict of interest. Why are you telling me that? You know? And it just all boiled down to this individual. So once the credit union excluded my position as a title processor, I was then forced into a position as a credit card representative. And being in that position, I was already at a grade level which paid me higher than everyone in the department, even the supervisor of the department. So as I continued to work there and complete my degree, I knew that's somewhere I didn't want to be. For one, they weren't going to give me any more money. So I'm like, I'm not going to continue to work in a location where I'm not able to, you know, get a raise and I'm working hard. And then also I was working on the weekend. I was a single mom. You know, my sons was in recreation. So I had to take charge. And I said, I cannot sit back and allow a corporation to dictate how my lifestyle should be. And I always wanted to be a real estate agent, you know. In 2005, I took the exam. You know, I passed. I was an agent, but then the market tanked. So by the market tanking and me going back into the workforce, and then that's happening to me, dedicating 7.5 years to that company, and knowing I didn't have a way to excel, I said to myself, what are you waiting for to do what you want to do? And asking myself that and asking God what he put me on this earth for to do, I knew, Earl, that I had to make a difference for me. Not only me, but I had 3 sons that were looking up to me. And I was the one and only positive role model that they were looking up to. You know, I was exposed to them day in and day out. So I said, I am going to finish my degree and I am going to relocate to Georgia and I am going to pursue my license as a real estate agent in the state of Georgia. Because as I have always been fascinated with real estate, I've learned back in 2015 that Georgia was on a rise. People were transitioning. You know, you had a lot of transients coming from Midwest, you know, North, South. It was all over. So me being that person that liked to read, it kept being splattered in my face.
The signs.
And the signs, and the universe just kept coming around to me, I did a vision board.
Right.
I started my vision board.
Man.
I made sure.
There's so much we could talk about on this. Because, man,
I
vision
really,
boards, y'all sleep on it if y'all want.
You cannot. You have to be able to see the vision for yourself in order to believe what, you on this earth for. Right. Everyone is placed on this earth to have a purpose. And if you have not yet recognized your purpose or even identified, you should really get on your knees and pray.
Yeah, or even choose a purpose.
Or just choose one, exactly. If you choose something that you know you love, there's nothing that you would do in life that will ever have you feeling like you're not worthy. Because you're doing what you love.
You've it almost seems like you was purpose driven from birth. And not even, I'm gonna take out the almost from it because it's evident.
Yeah,
like it's showing up in ways from a person from the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? Like we can see that all splash, and like you have this what they call that. Not an aura. I'm looking for a deeper word. I need something deeper. You have a I don't know. It's a glow. It's a aura. It's it's you're just levitating right now in awesomeness. You know what I'm saying? And greatness. You know what I'm saying? So what's next for Caroline? I know, successful people, when they reach a certain stage in life, right, and they've accomplished so much, and they're so appreciative of their journeys and what it took for them to actually get there, and they soak all of that up, and it makes them feel all bubbly inside. You see how she's smiling? That's that bubbly inside feeling I'm talking about, right? And when you get to a certain level, it's you realize your purpose, right? And there's nothing else for you to do but to sow into others, right? And I've picked that up from you, right?
Thank you.
I mean, we spoke 2 years ago when I was a realtor, and we had that conversation. I was at that office, and we was talking and chopping it up. Yeah. And from that conversation, I already knew what time you was on, right? And I mean, it's still evident now,
Thank
right?
you.
So in terms of what's next for you, I know that listen, because when I get successful, I'm not successful yet. When I get successful,
everyone is successful. As soon as you open your eyes in the morning, that's a success.
I'm gonna want to write a book, right? So I've heard that you're in the process of writing a book.
Yes, I am.
Oh, do share. I mean,
there's more. Like I truly believe I have my purpose, and like I said, as being that little girl on the step at 10 and 11. Having that vision to never see anyone homeless again in life. Yes. I still would dream and inspire to build my own community. I'm definitely not going to give up on that. It's still on my vision board to this day.
Yes.
And I am taking courses. I'm working towards taking courses next year to be an associates broker. Nice. So I can work towards being my own broker. And the book, I am writing a book. And my book is basically to help to inspire us as individuals and even African American women. Nice. Because we are I am a 70s baby. And there's so much that there's so much that's innate into us that we feel as if we have to follow the course and actions of other or history. And there's so many things that we're not exposed to in life that we need to tap into, because we should never limit ourselves. So I would really like my book to really touch and inspire and engage individuals that are in a place where they feel like, because I was born here, this is what I'm subject to. And you should never be subject to anything that you don't feel that you are comfortable living within.
Right.
Do
Makes
not.
perfect sense. Listen, man, I'm excited to like that is there's so much value in that.
I just want to inspire
Right?
people
It's
to know
so
that
much value in
anything is
that.
possible.
And it's coming from a person that's just not like telling you just to tell you. Like you've lived
I lived
through
it.
that.
Being a teenage mom,
Right.
I've been on the system trying to survive.
Right.
It's a lot that I have overcome, sacrificed, endured, experienced, and people look at me and they say, how do you still have the energy,
Right.
the motivation, that spunkiness in you? And if you sit down and listen to my story, the story, like my book is gonna give you the bolts and pieces that really made me that hard-headed realtor, and really inspired me to be the person I am today, and always exemplify so much positivity to others, so that they know that anything in this world is possible.
Wow.
Anything.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Said. Yo, Caroline, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
You already know how I feel about you. Like, I mean, this woman
I thank you so much.
Is amazing. I mean, if you guys need to have a conversation with her, y'all can reach out to her. I'll have all her social media links, in the description, and all her contacts, man. If you just want to ask her anything, it don't necessarily even have to be about real estate. If you're stuck somewhere, in life and you're able to resonate with her story and vice versa, it's like, I'm sure she would love to like sow value and help you along the way, because she's accomplished a lot. And there's so much more for her to do. But she's on the right track, and listen, I take my hat off to you, man. I really appreciate you coming through to Brooklyn Finance Entrepreneurship, man. And we look forward to all the greatness.
Thank you.
Right? All of the mogulness that we will be looking forward to seeing from you, right?
Yes, I am determined. I am so determined. I'm one determined individual. So there's one thing, when I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. And that's one thing that always was one of my strongest, links within me. You have to be determined within. If you're not determined within, you can fall for anything.
Well, that's what it is. Determination. You know what I mean? So till next time, Brooklyn Finance Entrepreneurs.
Hey!
Yes.
Hey, for your dead friends. Hey, look, I got dead presidents. Hey, look, for your dead friends. Hey, look, I got dead presidents. Hey,
till next time, change your mindset, change your reality. Brooklyn Finance Entrepreneurs.
Blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey.